Welcome in, everybody, to Scout's Eye on College Football on the Landry Football Podcast Network. ACC football and beyond is on tap. You know the drill. We take down each conference, take apart each conference, and break down all the games that are taking place within the league, giving you a film room analysis of what might take place or what we're seeing from these teams to this point of the year. It's fun. We break it down this way because that way we can cover everybody and we kind of splice it up that way. If you want more detailed film room breakdowns on every conference, on every team in every conference, on the NFL, college football in a national perspective, check out LandryFootball.com. It's where you want to go to get scouting and coaching film room analysis on the game of college football and the NFL. Take advantage of the football season sale, limited time only. Or try it out for a month or 6 months. Whatever is your pleasure, we can accommodate you. Well, Friday night, we've got Florida State at Louisville in Cardinal Stadium. You've got a little bit about Florida State, right? You know, they got the Duquesne win, got the win against LSU. Now they get a Louisville defense that has not been really good on third down. This Florida State offensive line looks like it's a little bit better. But look, this is where we start to see about Florida State, won't we? Yes, the LSU win was good. We know that was a good win for the program, but they did not play a clean game. They didn't let LSU back into the game. So can they clean things up and be a pretty good team in the ACC, or are they going to continue to be up and down and struggle in games like this? This is a game that if they want to make a mark, they've got to take care of business against the Louisvilles of the world in the league. We'll see. The offensive line has just allowed 3 tackles for loss in the first 2 games. It's been good enough for the running game, and it's been pretty good on third down. So as long as they can control this game at time of possession and limit the mistakes, which were aplenty against LSU, they've got a chance to take care of business on the road here. Louisville, let's not bury them for dead. Everyone did. We talked about it. It's one of the biggest surprises in week 1. Louisville getting drubbed by Syracuse. So you look, Louisville's awful. They were awful in that game. They were. Pick on the tape and you see it's not that they can't make plays. It's not that they don't have talent. Turnovers killed them. So everyone wrote them off. I thought they would bounce back against UCF. They did. They got a nice win. The pass rush has been there. There should be enough plays behind the line of scrimmage to have maybe an impact and really test Florida State's offensive line. But they're going to have to get pressure on Jordan Travis. There's no question. The run defense has to hold up. LSU did a nice job against him. Malik Cunningham is one of the best athletic quarterbacks in the country. He's going to have a really good game. He struggled to throw against UCF, but he took off and ran for 121 yards and a score. Last year, he ran for 2 touchdowns in the win over Florida State. He was solid through the air. And so we'll see how this plays out in this game. The UCF version of Louisville is more like what I think this team is than the Syracuse game. But turnovers are a big part of it, folks. I mean, good teams don't turn it over. Bad teams do. And so we'll see who can play the cleaner game. I think this is a bigger game than most people think. No, it's not going to determine anything in the ACC, but it will at least tell you about where the direction of these programs is going. And I think for Scott Satterfield and Mike Norvell, this is a game that they both feel that they need to win. It's in Louisville. More details at LandryFootball.com, including a pick. Wofford, Virginia Tech. Listen, the Terriers are playing pretty solid ball. I've looked at a little bit of tape from them, not a lot. Not making a lot of mistakes. They're decent against the run defensively. Virginia Tech is struggling on third downs. It made a ton of mistakes against Old Dominion. Old Dominion can force you into that. Virginia Tech, look, you got to be able to score here, and you've got to be able to score against this defense, despite the fact that they played well to this point relative to their schedule. Virginia Tech has got to be better against this Wofford team. There's no question. The team hasn't been awful. The offense has been awful in terms of the passing game. The running game's it's better, not good. They've had their struggles, but they take care of business here. This should be a blowout win, a confidence win for them. A really good game. Purdue at Syracuse, 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on ESPN2 in no longer the Carrier Dome. It's the GMA Wireless Dome. I don't know if you knew that, but in Syracuse, it's still the Dome. And it's Purdue coming in with their passing game against a Syracuse secondary that hasn't been tested, not very good in my mind, talent-wise. So there might not be a ton of production, but the mid-range throws have been there um, for Syracuse early on in the year. But giving up some plays there has been they've been. I thought Connecticut and did a pretty decent job. But I'm going to tell you, Purdue can throw it. And it was a tune-up last week. They played very well against Penn State. You can throw against Penn State. You can absolutely throw against Syracuse. So the passing game wasn't as sharp against Penn State, but it threw for 370 yards. So Aiden O'Connell has got to work the short passing game, keep the Syracuse Orange offense off the field. Time of possession is going to be pivotal. Syracuse wants to run the football with Sean Tucker. Folks, Sean Tucker is maybe one of the best running backs in the country that you've never heard about. Garrett Schrader has been really effective thus far. We'll see. I don't know that Syracuse is going to get a whole bunch of points. So if this gets to a high-scoring game, advantage Purdue, they've got an advantage passing game-wise. How good is Syracuse? The Louisville game was a lot aided by Louisville's mistakes, but credit for Syracuse for not making those mistakes. That they work better and play better. UConn, you play who you play. They're not good, and they took care of them. Purdue is, we'll see if they can get out of the run. You get enough out of the run game to keep Tucker off the field. That's the key to the game. He thinks it's going to be some high scores a high score in this game. We'll tell you a little bit more about it over at LandryFootball.com. Old Dominion at Virginia. Yeah, I know that Virginia Tech made a lot of mistakes against Old Dominion. Old Dominion is a veteran team and played cleaner ball. They were better than Virginia Tech. I'm not so sure that Old Dominion's better, not better than Virginia. They might be. Virginia's not playing well offensively. It hasn't done a good job in the passing game. The running game got nothing against Illinois last week. They're turning the football over. Old Dominion will not beat themselves. This whole thing about, well, our team's really good, they just turned it over. You can't be good if you turn it over. You have ability, but you're not good if you turn it over. I just don't know about this game. I get it. If Virginia plays a clean game, they should have a great opportunity to win this. But I think Old Dominion's a better team, not more talented. The Old Dominion offense is not real good on third downs. That's 3 for 24 thus far in the year. Virginia's just getting started. I think they'll get better as the year goes along. I think it's down to turnovers. I think Old Dominion is going to play a cleaner game. I think they're a more experienced team. I think they've got a good chance here. Ole Miss goes to Atlanta to play Georgia Tech in Bobby Dodd Stadium. 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 on ABC. It wasn't all that pretty against Troy, but the offense for Ole Miss kind of found its way against Central Arkansas. Good balance, less turnovers, and I thought better from the defense. Jackson Dart has been solid, pushing the offense down the field, and I think Zach Evans and Quishon Judkins has been strong in the run game. That should all have success against Georgia Tech, who played fairly decently for a quarter and a half against Clemson on the defensive side. But this team doesn't have enough offense. And I think that Jeff Sims is a solid playmaker, but they don't have much of a passing game. They're not doing anything on third down. They just were average on third downs against Western Carolina. So I'm not just talking about Clemson, but they struggled there. The run defense has been pretty good for Georgia Tech. So we'll see if they're able to rally and play well and give their offense some short fields. Can they generate some pass rush? They've come up with 7 sacks and 15 tackles for losses thus far in 2 games. They're gonna attack Jackson Dart. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to create turnovers. Ole Miss doesn't care about controlling the clock. They want to push it down the field and score. I just think it's an important tune-up game for Ole Miss with another one against Tulsa next week before they get in the SEC play. Pure and simple, Ole Miss is a better team. Liberty at Wake Forest. Hey, a sneaky good game there. Liberty has quietly started 2-0. Have beaten Southern Miss and UAB. we know they don't have Malik Willis under center, but the pass defense has been really good. They've got 9 takeaways. Wake Forest has been really good over the first 2 games, but it's not getting a lot of defensive pressure. The offense hasn't been all that smooth, and has to deal with a defensive front that is, again, playing pretty well. Liberty's got a shot here. Now, Sam Hartman coming back, playing, beating a Vanderbilt team that was overhyped a little bit off of their 2-0 record with Hawaii and Elon, 2 awful teams. They were manhandled by Wake Forest with Vanderbilt. They're not very good. Wake is a solid team. They're well coached. I think the passing game is pretty good and will be enough if they can protect for the Sam Hartman. And I don't know that Liberty can keep it up this year. Caden Salter is a quarterback, by the way, the new quarterback for Liberty, and he's running well, but it's just not accurate enough to make enough big plays. I think Sam Hartman and the Demon Deacons might have enough here. We got more details on this game again on Landry Football, not LandryFootball.com. North Carolina A&T at Duke. Duke's playing pretty good defense. The Aggies are having a hard time scoring. They were outscored by NC Central and North Dakota State by combined 71-16. Duke hasn't been perfect by any stretch. Riley Leonard's the quarterback, is hitting downfield throws. They've got some balance out of their running game. The defense is coming up with takeaways. They'll win going away in this game. Texas Tech at NC State in Carter Finley Stadium. Texas Tech's offense keeps moving pretty well. It lost Tyler Schaaf to shoulder injuries against Murray State. Donovan Smith has stepped in, and a strong, tough win over Houston. The passing game is clicking. Joey McGuire's doing a pretty good job there. They've been good against the run defensively. The pass defense is held up. NC State hasn't clicked yet. They're sputtering in the passing game. The defense is not generating good pressure. But the offensive line, I think, is giving Devin Leary some time to work. So if they can do that, then they've got a chance here to keep up and score some points. The defense, I think, is going to do pretty well against the run against Texas Tech. And the secondary is going to have their shots here or there. I think it's going to be a little bit of a mixed match here. It's at home. The defense, I think, needs to step up for NC State. That is the key. If they can do that, they've got a chance to win a close one at home. But this is a really intriguing game that can go either way. Check out my pick over at LandryFootball.com and how many points I think is going to be in that game. Don't laugh, Pitt at Western Michigan in Kalamazoo Waldo Stadium. It's not the same Western Michigan team that managed to pull off the 44-41 win over the ACC champion Pitt Panthers last year. But they're not bad either. They've got better balance than, they showed pretty good balance offensively against Ball State, but there's not that pop and explosion. The pass rush is really good. It takes the ball away, and that's going to be the difference in the game. I think Pitt's going to rebound and obviously amend that loss from last year. Boston College hosts Maine. Boy, BC needs Maine in a big way to come to town. They are not playing well. This BC team is really struggled. There's, look, Maine can't score. It was awful against New Mexico. It manages the field goal in the fourth quarter and the loss to Colgate. There's no running game. There's no downfield passing game. This is where Phil Jakovic starts to get things going. I know this BC offensive line is not playing well, but it is Maine. They got to take care of business here. Louisiana Tech at Clemson. Sonny Cumbie's team is okay. They lost to Missouri. Passing game can move the football. The defense is, has to keep forcing mistakes. 6 takeaways thus far. Clemson isn't controlling the clock, and the downfield passing game is not as good. Look, I'm looking at Clemson, and I could put them in the 4th slot, but I could put them in the 10th spot as well. They've got a long way to go. I don't think this Louisiana Tech team should challenge them. The run defense is not very good. Missouri did whatever it wanted. I think Clemson could compress this game and run it and control it, much like they did against Furman. I think that's the difference. I think we're going to have to see whether this Clemson team can move the football through the air against better teams, even in the ACC. I don't think they're anywhere close to a team that can do damage come playoff time, at least at this point. But they win, I think, potentially big against Louisiana Tech. Miami, Texas A&M, it's going to be a feature game on LandryFootball.com. So make sure that you check that out and see the full details. Couple of things that jump out at me. Yeah, A&M is the story. A&M has been bad. A&M is, as I mentioned on the SEC Football and Beyond show in the Scout's Eye preview of the SEC games, expect teams that were embarrassed to respond and respond in a big way. I think A&M is going to do that. I think whatever they have, they'll have. Now, Max Johnson is going to start at quarterback. I expected that to happen. They've got to spark the offense. The offensive line is not very good, but the quarterback play has not been good. They've got to protect the quarterback. They've got to get the ball out of their hands quickly. And against Miami, you got to work the short passing game. Miami is not very good at tackling in defending the short pass. They have really struggled thus far this year. Maybe it's a little bit lazy performances against Southern Miss and Bethune-Cookman. But the issue is, can A&M score? Can they score enough? They've got to get the ball in the hand of Devin Achane. He's an NFL back, and they've got to get the ball in his hands more. That's your job as a coach. Miami's defense is not very good. I mean, it just hasn't shown me much of anything. It's had layups against Bethune-Cookman and Southern Miss. I think the offense will slow down against a good A&M defense. Look, let me just tell you now, Appalachian State can run the football. And if you can't score against them, which A&M couldn't, they'll run it and pound you. This Aggie defense played pretty well. Okay, they just won the field for 80 snaps. Can Tyler Van Dyke get some big explosive plays early, make A&M play from behind? That's the formula for them. But I do think that everyone that's kicking dirt on A&M, I don't expect them to lay down. They may not win. They may not be good enough to win. We'll see what their quarterback position's able to do in this game. But I will tell you this, that I think that they're going to respond. They're going to play hard. And, the pass protection hasn't been awful, but it's got some work to do. The 4 turnovers, way too many. A&M can't press. It could be a press game, but look for A&M to respond. But will they win? Got that for you over at LandryFootball.com with a more detailed film room breakdown analysis on this game and all the other games inside all the conferences. So check it out over there. A reminder again, take advantage of that football season sale at LandryFootball.com. Try it out for a month if you just want to try it out there. It's $9.99 a month. It's $69.99 for a year. That gets you the season. That gets you all the recruiting, all the draft and free agency, and all the NFL, all college. It's the best value that we have. Obviously, do the numbers and do the math on that. It's really good to have your own scouting and coaching department at your disposal for less than a magazine subscription. So check it out today. That's a look at ACC football and beyond on the Scout's Eye on college football. Make sure that you like and share this information so that people can get this show and all the other shows that we do on these platforms. So make sure that you sign up, and certainly sign up for the Landry Football Podcast Network so that you can get all of our podcasts as well as all of our conference shows over there. Appreciate you joining us. Enjoy the games. Talk to you next time.